Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from Phone Bunch and today we are reviewing the Asus Zenfone 4 available for about Rs 6000. Comes with a 4-inch WVGA display clad in Corning Gorilla Glass with a 1.2 GHz Intel Atom processor which is hyper-threading enabled with 1 GB of RAM. On the left you can see the micro USB data syncing and charging port as well as a space to open the back cover. At the top you have the 3.5 audio jack and on the right you have the power lock and unlock button as well as the volume rocker which is both sturdy and offers good feedback. At the bottom you have the primary microphone and that's just about it. Moving to the back you have the 5 megapixel autofocus camera as well as the speakerphone. The back cover has a very nice matte finish which makes it really good to hold. The back has a sort of a rounded shape which reminds me of the Moto E. It does fit perfectly in your hand. Overall a very sturdy construction and does fit in one hand easily. Let's open up the back cover. The back cover is very difficult to get open on the Zenfone 4. Unlike the Zenfone 5, but it's sturdier here. And there we finally have the cover open. So you can see right there, the back cover is really sturdy, doesn't bend or flex even a little bit. You have two micro SIM card slots, a 1600 mAh battery and a micro SD card slot which can take up to 64 GB of storage. Now let's close up shop. Even with just a dual core processor, the Zenfone 4 scored brilliantly in our benchmarks. Coming to the front, you have VGA front facing camera, you have a proximity sensor, and you have that 4-inch WVGA display. It's not the IPS variety and you have capacitive buttons at the bottom which do not light up. The display has good color reproduction as well as touch response, but the viewing angles are not that wide. You can see distortion in brightness and colors when you tilt the display. The contrast levels are not that great either. But you do have a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 layer to protect it from scratches. Now let me just change some wallpapers. You will be able to see the color reproduction yourself. The display does appear a bit dark, but even then it's viewable in sunlight to an extent. Now let's talk about network and call quality. This is the default dialer interface. From right here you can make calls from either of the SIM cards. Now you do have call recording built into the dialer itself. Now call quality is nothing to write home about. The speakerphone is just about loud, but the earpiece is quite loud and there is no echo. You do have Wi-Fi hotspot, Bluetooth as well as USB tethering available on the phone. You have GPS too and does work quite well, especially when you are outside. The Zenfone 4 is a dual SIM device. It's dual standby, so either of the SIM cards can get a call at one time. It is a 3G smartphone and you have dual SIM forwarding, so in case one SIM card is busy, the call would be forwarded to the next one. You have a 5 megapixel autofocus camera here and a VGA front facing camera. You have several filters available too, including sepia, negative, which do work quite well. Moreover, you also have HDR mode in images. You can take selfies. You have your night mode separately. A miniature mode for taking macro shots is also available. These do work fine. However, the camera quality is nothing to write home about. You have several settings for optimization, controlling exposure levels, standard image quality, or you can get fine image quality as well. The phone can record 1080p videos with its 5 megapixel camera, and there are several things you can tinker with. Now here are some of the image samples. You can see color reproduction is generally good, but there's a lot of noise in these images. You can see here too, yellow and black, both colors look quite decent. But some images do turn out to have this fisheye sort of effect where the central focus point has good color reproduction while the side actually turns out to be very blurry. In general, color reproduction is just about alright. Some images do turn out to be a bit undersaturated. Now here's a 100% crop and you can see a lot of detail is captured, but there's a lot of noise in there as well. Now this is an image taken at dusk and you can notice a lot of noise in this image, but color reproduction is generally good. On the left you have normal, on the right HDR, and you can see how underexposed the HDR image is. Macro shots do turn out to be a little blurry even with the miniature mode on. In general, this camera can take decent shots as well as decent video, especially when you factor in the Moto E which has a fixed focus camera. Now you don't get a headset with the Zenfone 4 and this is the default music player. You have separate tabs for albums, artist view as well as songs. Now you also have the now playing screen from where you can get into the equalizer, select a preset or even create your own as well. Then you also have the Asus audio wizard using which you can customize. The sound quality, music mode suits best here. Now you do have FM radio available on the Zenfone 4. It's able to locate channels quickly. You can set your favorite channels. FM recording is not available, but you can switch to the speakerphone. Now we are playing a 1080p video and you can see how smooth playback is. It can natively play MP4, 3GP as well as AVI video files. Now we are playing our Zenfone 5 review over YouTube. Playback is smooth, but I would still say that the speakerphone should have been a little louder. Switching to movie mode does help in audio quality. Coming to software, the Zenfone 4 is now running Android 4.4.2 KitKat, which has been recently updated. There are no major changes to Zen UI, but there are a lot of changes under the hood, especially in terms of performance. So now let's have a look at the launcher. No major changes here as well. You can add more home screens if you want to set a particular screen as your home screen. This is the default navigation shade where you have all these different toggles. You also have a boost option available which can be used to free up used RAM, and you can customize what all toggles are available as well as their particular order. Even the settings menu has remained unchanged, but Asus has updated most of its apps for Android KitKat, and you can see right there it's running Android 4.4.2 at present. Now coming to storage, this phone has an 8GB ROM out of which 4.5GB is free right now. But we have installed several apps as well as some games. Moreover, you can add up to 64GB of storage. App and app data are movable to the external storage as well. But apps need to be installed in the internal memory first and then they can be moved. Now we are checking USB OTG connectivity. I have inserted the pen drive and you can see right there it has been detected. You can unmount it from here as well. Now opening it up, it will open the file explorer and you can see that you can access all the files. In terms of RAM usage, out of the 1GB RAM, you will have about 250 to 370 MB available in general use. You do have a battery saver mode. Running in optimized mode will get you about 1 day of usage, but in general you will make do with a bit less than that. You would have to charge this phone overnight. Now you have Asus customized settings where you can choose what the recent apps key does on long tapping it. Then you have app installation settings as I was saying, so you can directly install apps to the external storage as well. Coming to security, you do have Android Device Manager to find, erase or even ring your device in case it gets lost. You do have a separate lock screen option with pattern, pin and password for security. Then you can have a quick access widget as well as what next right there. Now this is the default Asus keyboard and you have gesture support available here too. It works quite well. It's very good to type on too. Now we have loaded phonebunch.com, our mobile website is opened up and you can see how smooth scrolling is as is general rendering. We didn't face any issues with web browsing or compatibility and you can see how smooth pinch to zoom is. The Zenfone series has by far the smoothest touch response of all devices available in their particular price brackets. Moreover, you have certain usable software additions like Read Later or the Do It Later app, so you can add tasks to a list to do later, so you can simply go ahead and check what all you have to do. You also have a new app called Splendid, using which you can change the color profile of the display. If you don't like the vivid mode, you can simply go ahead and change the color temperature as well as control the hue and saturation of the display, and you can always revert back to the original configuration. Then you have the Supernote application where you can simply go ahead and scribble any note that you want to in your own handwriting. A pen would work better here, but this does work fine too. In terms of general performance too, while going through the interface, opening up apps, I didn't notice any lag. The dual-core Intel Atom processor does perform quite well in day-to-day tasks without bogging down. Even in gameplay, we saw that the phone performs quite well. It did get a little bit heated up when you were playing high-end games, but apart from that, all the games that we tried played quite well. There was a little lag in the higher-end games, but that was just about it. Wrapping it all up, the Asus Zenfone 4 has a decent display, excellent performance at this price, good solid construction. It's definitely a bit thick, a decent enough camera as well, but can't beat the likes of the Redmi 1S in the camera department, but in terms of usability, it streaks ahead just like the Moto E. We'll be back with more. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. You can watch our full review of the Xiaomi Redmi 1S as well as the gaming review of the Asus Zenfone 4. Thanks for watching. Any questions, hit us in the comment section and have a great day.